Welcome back, everyone. Let's go ahead and do a quick little comparison between the iPhone 13 on my left and the iPhone XS Max that actually came out in 2018. Now, both these phones are great. I love iPhones, I love iOS, and if you want to pick up either one of these iPhones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, there are definitely some minor differences. To be honest, you may not, I don't know why this took a screenshot, you may not even be able to tell too big of a difference. With the XS Max, you have a very beautiful 6.5-inch OLED panel, and it's a very good looking panel. It's pretty big. I think in the hand, they both kind of feel the same, to be honest. I don't think the XS Max feels that much bigger, but it's definitely a beautiful phone. The iPhone 13, on the other hand, has a beautiful 6.1-inch OLED panel. So visually, they kind of look like the same thing. I don't really think one looks way sharper or way better. Maybe the 13's panel is a little bit better. You do have a smaller notch here, but really doesn't equate to anything. It doesn't bring any more features. You have a lightning port at the bottom. On the side, you have the volume buttons and the ringer switch. Now, you do have the flat side on the iPhone 13. Some people may prefer that. I don't really care. I think the 13 is cool. I don't think it's a crazy big feature, though. You do have the curved side on the iPhone XS Max. Now, the side feels better on the XS Max. It feels much more, premium. The 13 still feels pretty good, though, so it's not a big difference. On the back, you have glass backs on both. I do have a skin on my XS Max. Dual camera setup as well. Wireless charging on both. You do have the MagSafe capability, which I probably wouldn't recommend using. And with the cameras, a telephoto lens on the iPhone XS Max. We have an ultra-wide sensor for that additional one. Instead of the wide, you have the ultra-wide sensor on the 13. So both look good. I'll let you guys kind of prefer which one is which, in a second when I do a camera comparison. Lightning port on the bottom, IP certification on both as well. And in terms of everything else, they're both fairly similar. I was expecting more of a difference. With these newer iPhones getting smaller and smaller, like the 13 series with that bigger display, it makes these older iPhones that were used to be so big kind of seem small now, which is so funny. Now, in terms of longevity, a big thing to keep in mind is that the XS Max came out in 2018. So the iPhone 13 is definitely going to outlast the iPhone XS Max for sure, at least in terms of iOS updates. But a big thing to keep in mind is that the XS Max is still going to be supported for many more years. So it's not like tomorrow these iPhones are going to be outdated. You're still going to be given like 4 more years of software updates before any of these things start, going out. So in terms of that covers it up in terms of longevity. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both of these iPhones. Now the iPhone XS Max has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 13 has that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM as well. So let's go and see which one is the faster iPhone between both of these. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, as you guys can see, so let's get into it. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. And I don't know which one was faster there. The XS Max is on the right, 13 is all right here. App Store, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 13 definitely was faster there. iPhone XS Max stuck on this little loading panel. I don't know what is going on here, so we'll just kind of let this one slide, I guess. Music, I do not have here. Jump into mail, 3, 2, 1. I don't know what happened on the XS Max. This one's being really weird today. Clock, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Photos, 3, 2, 1. About the same on both, not that big of a difference. Let's click into the first panel. About the same thing too, scrolling through, probably not that big of a difference. Settings, 3, 2, 1. I don't know which one is faster there either. Camera, 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing too, not that ginormous of a difference. Taking a photo here. I guess we have to be on the little dark mode here, whatever that was. And as always, we have a bunch of these third-party applications we can go ahead and get into. Okay, I had to adjust the camera a little bit. Let's get into Twitter, 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 13 was faster. iPhone XS Max, it's definitely still stuck on these little panels. I don't know what's going on with this specific phone. Netflix, 3, 2, 1. 13 definitely faster there. The XS Max was a little bit behind. Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. 13 again was faster. Snake vs. Blocks, 3, 2, 1. 13 again was a faster one. Gameplay wise, let's see if there's a difference. And the iPhone XS Max was stuttering there a little bit in the beginning with, but I think it's gotten smoother since then. Getting into the next app. Thank you. 3, 2, 1. Snake vs. Blocks was faster on the iPhone 13. The XS Max, again, a little bit behind. Definitely anything crazy. Snake vs. Blocks or Stack, 3, 2, 1. And the XS Max seemed to look a little bit faster, but it was very close on both. Getting into some gameplay, let's see if there's a big difference, and I don't think there's going to be. Hopping out of this one, Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. And the Tennis Max was a little bit slower here. We may get into a timeout error on this one, so we'll kind of let this one slide as well, since I don't know what's going on with the Tennis Max network. Facebook 3, 2, 1. 13 again was faster. Temper 1, 1, 3, 2, 1. And definitely the 13 was faster. They may be on different panels. And again, I don't know what to make of the iPhone XS Max. It is on iOS 15, so that could be an issue that's going on with this specific iPhone, which I may have to make a separate video about. And you can see the loading time on the XS Max on iOS 15 is not so great. And personally, from my experience, the XS Max has always been a pretty fast phone, so this is definitely abnormal. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. I thought I clicked it here. And again, it does look like the XS Max is stuck on this downloading content panel. So we'll kind of let this one slide as well. I could go back and do a full speed comparison very soon, but this one was definitely interesting. The one apps that I did see that maybe didn't have any extraneous issues, network, whatever, it still seemed to be faster on the iPhone 13. So iOS 15 may be causing some issues on the iPhone XS Max. I'll go ahead and look further into it and make a video about it if it's important. But let's go ahead and hit on the cameras now. And like I mentioned, dual camera setups on both. The iPhone XS Max has that wide-angle lens and telephoto lens. The iPhone 13 has that wide-angle lens and ultra-wide sensor. Now, me personally, I've always preferred an ultra-wide sensor. On top of that, you're getting 4K at 60 on both cameras here, but the iPhone 13 does have 4K at 60 on the front. The iPhone XS Max only has 1080p at 60. Now, in terms of the UIs on both, you can see that they kind of have the same thing going on here too. I've never really seen that big of a difference between these two phones, or really even like the iPhone 13 to the iPhone 6S. They have the same exact camera setup, or they have the same exact camera UI, but the iPhone XS Max has portrait mode, all this good stuff. The iPhone 13 has this new cinematic mode, which is actually really cool, and I think it's a really cool feature. It essentially is like portrait mode for video, and it's an awesome little thing for sure. Now with the iPhone XS Max, this is actually still a pretty good camera. I think with the features it has, that 4K 60 on the back and everything, it's very good. I think the iPhone 13's camera is better, but you still have that telephoto lens, which is also really nice, being able to zoom in a lot. But it is kind of a trade-off because you don't get that beautiful ultra-wide sensor that we have on certain iPhones. Now with the iPhone 13, this is definitely the better camera setup. You're getting many more features. You're getting that cinematic mode. You're getting that ultra-wide sensor. It's definitely by far that better camera setup for sure. Is it perfect? Absolutely not, but it still gets the job done, and I think the iPhone 13 camera is definitely better than the iPhone XS Max without a doubt. So now we come to the end of the video, and to be honest, if you have an iPhone XS Max, I would honestly, I think this is an interesting trade-off because on one hand, you're getting a faster phone, you're getting a better camera setup, better battery life, longer longevity on this phone. Like you're getting a really good upgrade on the iPhone 13, but the XS Max is still a pretty decent phone. The one area the iPhone XS Max probably lacks the most in is probably battery. Other than that, the XS Max is still a very solid phone, and neither of these phones have 60 Hz. Neither of these phones have any crazy feature that the other one probably couldn't support anyway. And if you're not complaining about the performance of your iPhone XS Max, I don't really think there's that big of a reason to change. If you're not complaining about the camera or the performance, there's not a big reason to change. There's just no feature on the iPhone 13 that, you would have to go and upgrade to, in my opinion. If you have an update, if you have an upgrade coming up on your plan, or if you have money that you can just blow, iPhone 13, I wouldn't even recommend buying. I would go for the 13 Pro. That is a worthwhile upgrade for sure. If you currently own a XS Max, I would honestly recommend keeping it unless you're going to go and buy an iPhone 13 Pro or iPhone 13 Pro Max. At that point, I would recommend updating. But as for right now, these are still solid phones, and you can't really go wrong with keeping the XS Max, but you also can't go wrong with updating either. So that pretty much covers it up. Like I mentioned, if you want to purchase these phones, the links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section as well. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.